Hey guys, right then, so day number 4. We are 9 weeks and a couple of days out from the Arnold Europe, and confidence is at an all-time high. This has got to be the best first couple of weeks into a cycle that I feel like I've ever had, and just my mentality and the way that I'm going into training every day, it reminds me of when I was getting ready for my first World Championships in Russia. Well, my first Classic Worlds anyway. Um, like just getting everything done that I need to get done, not making excuses. Like just confident with everything that I do, and something that I've noticed from myself. Um, Sort of my squats generally go well in training. My bench generally goes well in training, but deadlift in general doesn't go well in training. Now, if all three were going bad at the same time, then it might just be a case of you're tired, you're having an off day, you're having an off week or whatever. Maybe just lighten things up, and then come at it again another time. But because it's just that one lift, like that suggests that it's not. It's something deeper, and it's something that's relating to this one lift. Now, looking at it, I tend to look at things from a physiological perspective and a physical perspective. So obviously, my grip hasn't been good on deadlifts. That's the reason I've been failing lifts that I should be fucking banging 3 or 4 reps out with. But so I've been doing a lot of grip work. Basically, I train 4 days a week, like with powerlifting intent. And if I have time or if I feel like it, I'll put a fifth bodybuilding day in there. But I don't really haven't really felt the need to do that right now. I've just been splitting my training up and doing uh session 1 in the early afternoon and session 2 in the early evening, and that's where I've been hitting some bodybuilding work in that second session. And I prefer doing that because it gives me 3 rest days instead of 2. And so I've been doing a lot of grip work in those sessions. Basically, I've been picking an exercise that's going to focus on grip, and I've been hitting it just one exercise 4 days a week, but it's been a different exercise every time, and that's working really well. But it's not just the physical side of things that you need to focus on with all this sort of stuff. It's also the mental side of things, and that's probably more important. So, um, when I was approaching Worlds, I was in this mindset where I'm probably going to drop this. But then, if I was probably going to drop it, then I shouldn't have been going for it in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I posted this on Instagram the other day where I said, like, so the best case scenario for me in that situation was that I'm going to be pleasantly surprised and I'm going to keep a hold of the weight. That's not the right kind of mind frame you need if you're going to succeed at anything in life. You should be going into things expecting to succeed, because if you're going in there expecting to fail, chances are you're going to. There's a quote by Henry Ford, and I forget what it is, but it's something along the lines of, "If you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right." And I've sort of been I've been reading this book by Lanny Bassham, which Matt Gary sent me over, and it's basically on creating a good mental management system for yourself. And one of the things in there that he really does sort of like really drills home all the time is you going into situations in training and in competition. If you do it in training, you need to do it in competition as well. But he goes into situations saying that it is like me to do whatever the scenario might be. Now, he relates a lot of his to golf and shooting because he was an Olympic shooter. So from a powerlifting perspective, from me, my it is like me to finish deadlifts. It is like me to finish squats. It is like me to finish bench presses. So the wording there is very positive. So the wording is very, very important as well, because what you don't want to do is saying it is not like me to drop deadlifts, because you're focusing on the negative. You're not focusing on the positive outcome. You're focusing on not doing the thing that you don't want to do. Whereas you want to be focusing on the thing that you do want to happen. So that's a really important thing. So there's two things that I've started doing in training now, and that is saying that it is like me to complete lifts. And another thing that I've been doing, I bought a diary, and every single day I write, I will be the IPF world champion. Because it needs to be present tense, it needs to be a future goal, and just by writing it and thinking about it all of the time, I've got a much better chance of actually realising that dream and putting it all together to do this. So like, that's kind of, I do it at night time so that I wake up in the morning and it's still on my mind from the night before, and I hit training raring to go and thinking about all these things that I want to do. But it doesn't really matter what time of day you do it. What matters is that you do it every day. So they're two things that have changed about my mental program, and so far so good. So I'm gonna do a competition in preparation at the Northwest Championships, which is about 3 weeks before the Arnold. So we're looking at about 6 weeks time, and I'm gonna pull 330 at that competition. Okay. And notice how I said I am going to pull 330. I'm not going to try 330. I'm going to pull 330. Right, so that's me for today. I've got one more day of training, which is going to come tomorrow. I'm going to travel down to Manchester to do that at Frontline Fit. So, guys, hope you're ready for me. I'm probably going to do some heavy, so I'll be screaming. So I hope you don't get pissed off with that. Right, toodaloo, bitches.